Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
This draft starts at 2, like it or not. It is what it is, folks. And that means the floor is yours. Jonathan making the pick, second overall for the Charlotte Hornets. Who you got?
When the lottery came out, I thought this was going to be a kind of consensus pick, but it's not. And if it was me, I'd take Scoot Henderson. It sounds like, just based on talking to teams, that he is not a sure thing to go there. In fact, most people actually think it's going to be Brandon Miller. But to me, Scoot is more of a sure thing. I think everything about his frame, his explosiveness, the way he can change gears, his playmaking IQ, the ability to shoot off the dribble, I think that's all translatable. He plays with tremendous competitiveness. You hear only good things off the floor about his work ethic. He was in Charlotte yesterday. I'm sure most people in the NBA draft world have heard about that by now. And I mean, I guess the only question is, how does he fit with LaMelo? I honestly, I don't see that bad of a fit with LaMelo, who's 6'7", a very good spot-up shooter, more of a threes and passing guy, where Scoot's going to put a lot of pressure on the rim with his explosiveness. He's got that mid-range game. I think they could find a way to kind of coexist and put pressure on defenses in different ways. Now, of course, Brandon Miller is, an easier fit on paper, but if we're evaluating these two guys in a vacuum, to me, I think it's pretty clear that Scoot's the better long-term prospect. And unless we could talk about Brandon Miller's weaknesses, I don't know if this is the right opportunity to do that, but I guess I have a little bit of concern with his creation upside, beating guys off the dribble. He really struggled around the rim. Even the last 18 games, we kind of talk about him as a sure thing shooter. Shot 30% from downtown the second half of the season. And if that shot is not elite, then I think we got a problem here if we're talking about a top 3 pick. Whereas I think Scoot can get by without being a 37% three-point shooter. I think he brings enough with his creation inside the arc. And again, just that power and explosiveness and the passing off the dribble and the tough finishing at the rim. I love everything about him in terms of evaluating a point guard. And I'm not going to let the fit with LaMelo Ball deter me from taking him at 2.
Is there anyone that would have gone a different route at 2 had you been making the pick?
I'd go Miller.
No.
I'd go Miller personally. I just think he's got a Tatum type of game. He actually shot it much better than I thought this year. I think he's a good passer, athletic. I have trouble with a point guard who can't shoot right now. I just have trouble with that.
All right, so we'll move to the third pick here. And as Jonathan mentioned, it's essentially an argument between two guys. It's Scoot Henderson. It's Brandon Miller. We got Jonathan's thoughts on this. We got Goodman's thoughts on this. Now we are going to get Sam Vecenie's thoughts on this, who is making the third pick in our draft for the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, so with Portland, it's interesting because they're obviously in the middle of this world where they're trying to contend, but also trying to find a future answer long-term. And given what their priorities are as an organization, even though in a vacuum, I actually have Cam Whitmore at number 3 on my board ahead of Brandon Miller.
Whoa.
I would take Brandon Miller for the Blazers. I have a very close grade on Cam Whitmore and Brandon Miller. Like if we're doing like a scale of 100, I have like a 94 on Cam Whitmore and a 93 on Brandon Miller, basically. And I think Brandon Miller just fits better with the Blazers because we assume that they're going to bring back Jeremy Grant. He's more of a power creator on the wing. They have Damian Lillard as well. They're trying to flex these two timelines. I think that Miller fits both long-term and shorter term due to that ability to space the floor. And look, I'm worried about the finishing. I think John kind of brought it up in terms of the self-creation. Brandon Miller shot, I believe, 39.5% from around the rim this season, which is just a crazy low number. Jeff brought up Jason Tatum earlier. People thought Jason Tatum couldn't finish at Duke. Jason Tatum shot 60% in half-court settings at the rim at Duke. Brandon Ingram shot like 53% at the rim at Duke in half-court settings. Miller was at like 39% playing in one of the best spaced offenses in college basketball. So I think that's the concern more than anything else. But I would still go Miller here. I think he's a little bit more polished and ready.
Rob, you and I did the Cam Whitmore breakdown together a couple weeks ago. Are you shocked to hear Whitmore near or ahead of Brandon Miller on a big board for Sam?
Absolutely not. I really, really like Cam Whitmore, and this is teasing who I'm going to pick with the Rockets for the Rockets at number 4 a little bit, but I'm a big, big fan of Cam Whitmore, and I buy into the idea of age. You know, Brandon Miller is more than a year older than Cam Whitmore at this point, and the biggest thing for me is the size for Brandon Miller, right? Like, I don't know if he's someone that's going to be able to handle the weight as well as Jason Tatum did. I think that's one of the more under discussed parts about Tatum's development at this level, right? Is that he's went from being a guy that was kind of skinny when he was at Duke to looking like a full blown wrestler. Like he might be able to play outside linebacker for the Patriots at this point. So
Rob loves saying that. Rob loves the exaggeration that like Jason Tatum is now like a monster out there.
He's basically a bodybuilder.
Sounds like Jason Tatum's the Hulk.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's like Jeff Goodman in a swimsuit, right?
Oh my God. That's a sight nobody needs to see, okay? We have a lot of great visuals for this draft show. That's not one of them. Let's keep it that way.
Our partner for today's episode is Athletic Greens. I started taking AG1 during the college basketball season, and I loved the impact that it had on my energy levels. I'm a big coffee in the morning guy, but by the time that the afternoon would hit, I needed another boost. AG1 helped me tremendously, especially on those days when I didn't want to get up off the couch and go hit the gym. Their tagline is AG1 is comprehensive health and the power of habit in one. And man, that could not be more true. It's nearly impossible to eat and drink in a healthy manner in the month of February and the month of March when you are in my business. And AG1 was exactly the supplement that I needed to improve my gut health and cover my nutritional basis for the day. I've continued that into April. I've continued that into May, and I'm going to continue that the rest of the summer. All I have to do is mix a scoop of AG1 with some water or maybe add it into a smoothie, and I'm ready to go. Do it after lunch, and you'll be ready to go for the rest of the day. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/field68. That's field 68 FIELD, the number 6, the number 8, and you can get yours now. So check it out and help support this show. Thanks. Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.